I remember my first day on the job, I was cutting sourdough for croutons with a serrated knife, and I cut myself and bled all over the bread.
Did you just like keep your hand in your pocket the rest of the day?
I took my tape and like wrapped it around the cut.
Oh my God.
And just worked the rest of service.
Wow.
I think everything I know about cooking, I first learned in restaurants.
Yeah, there's always like a little bit of a better way to do something.
When they asked me to think of things I learned in a restaurant, I was just like, the list was this long, so I had to narrow it down to one.
I don't really consider, I'm not like a chef, you know what I mean? Like I'm not running a restaurant. Those guys are insane.
I got to kind of see the whole life cycle of ingredients, going from deciding what to order, receiving stuff, understanding what to look for, how to weigh things, how to put things away.
When I started to cook before I had ever worked in a restaurant, I thought I knew what I was doing, and the day that I stepped into a restaurant for the first time, I learned very quickly that I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't cooking in like a tight, organized, thoughtful, methodical way until I kind of got sent to boot camp in a restaurant. I think the number one thing that I've taken away from working in restaurants is the importance of mise en place, which means in French, put in place. And it essentially refers to the time you spend before actually like jumping into cooking a dish or cooking through a recipe, getting yourself organized, prepping out all of your ingredients so that you can cook through fluidly and you're not frantically jumping around, things are on the stove. You get yourself organized, you get all your ingredients, your mise en place set and ready to go, and then you can calmly cook through the recipe.
Right.
That's a technique that I highly, highly recommend that you adopt in your home cooking.
It's a good one.
So this is a big thing for me at home as well. This takes up a lot of room in your refrigerator, and it's for a very small volume of product. So even if at one point this ginger brew was filled to the brim, as you go through it and use it, you got to downsize. When you downsize, you're also going from like a dirty container to a clean, which is really important. And then you're also just taking up less space, which is important because we should be constantly creating space in our refrigerators or our cabinets for other things. One thing that I do like about this, I pulled this out of Molly's reach-in. It was already labeled with the date, so I know exactly what it is. So even if you're not the cook who created it in the first place, you can like deal with it properly, label it, still have the date on it. And then at home, this I actually brought in from home. It's just masking tape, my trusty Sharpie, never leave home without it. And that was lemon ginger brew. Leftovers that are labeled, the other people that you live with understand what is in there, and they're much more likely to go in and eat the thing that's labeled versus the thing that's not labeled that someone's like, I don't know what that is, therefore I shall never investigate it or consume it. So if you label something delicious, meatballs, the other people that you live with will be like, oh, I like delicious meatballs. This is one of the easiest things you can do at home. So get yourself some masking tape and a Sharpie, and you will throw away less food.
Yeah, is this yours?
Yeah.
This is what you need? What are you going to do?
Well, it's not really, I'm not really doing anything.
Are you going to fold it into a swan?
No, that's not the trick.
Or like the fan? No, you're going to do the fan.
I'm not going to do any of that. It's like everyone has oven mitts, you know,
Yeah.
and like I always get burned with oven mitts because there's like weak, you know, thin spots or whatever. So instead of oven mitts, use kitchen towels to grab hot things. But you always have two kitchen towels. You have a dry towel that you can hold like on your person with you. Like usually it's in the waistband of an apron, but here it's just like sticking in the pocket. And you have this, it's like an extension of your hand, and it's to like grab hot things, stuff out of the oven. You know, there's hot things everywhere in a restaurant kitchen, even if you don't know they're hot. So it's just a thing you have. And this towel always stays dry. And then you have another towel that you use for drying your hands or just drying any kind of surface. That's your wet towel, and you don't want to mix them up because you always keep your dry towel with you, because if you use a wet towel to grab something hot, the water conducts heat and then you burn yourself. So it's shocking how quickly you can burn yourself through a wet towel when you grab something.
Wild.
So dry, keep it next to you for hot things, and then another towel separately wet for drying things.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, I learned a lot, but I was working in restaurants before I went to culinary school, so I did learn a bit. I also learned things that you are not supposed to do, like buying meat from the back of a truck, you know, things like that. Very Jersey style. Anyway, sorry. So one I constantly talk about it, and I learned this in culinary school too. It's pulling your eggs like a pool, because you make a pool of eggs. So basically, what you do when you pull eggs is crack them one at a time. If you get a bad egg, and trust me, you will get a bad egg, and you are cracking all the eggs on the same bowl, what happens is that bad egg is gonna ruin the rest of your eggs.
The entirety of the eggs.
So you will think I'm crazy if I do this at home, but I do. I'm gonna do this for Chris Morocco because he doesn't know how to do it. I hope I doesn't break it. So you always crack on a flat surface, and then you do it with one hand. Can I do it?
Do it.
There you go. In a restaurant also, they don't whisk. They use an immersion blender. So they keep all the eggs ready. And when somebody's like, I don't know, omelette, they just have the right size ladle. And they just, instead of like cracking into the eggs every time you, in a restaurant, order one. So then you'll put it in the bowl.
Okay. So let's see like a seamless, like a bang, bang, bang.
Oh, I don't know if I can
Impress
do
me,
that.
Gabby, impress me.
Okay, I don't know. I lost it already. Is this cool? I swear. Is someone going to use this? I don't want to keep breaking eggs. Don't break my eggs. Sorry. Here, Chris Morocco, one hand. There you go.
Is that a known thing? Morocco can't do a one-hander?
Well, he confessed to me the other day he thinks he might be able to do it, but it's not his thing.
He's too scared.
All right, that's my trick.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if mine's necessarily like a restaurant tip.
Did you learn in a restaurant?
I don't even think so. But I really like it, and it's a useful thing, and I think it makes people better cooks, and I think everyone should do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with it. Season meat ahead of time. I'm talking like a day ahead. Like a big chunk of like a steak or a big roast, a whole chicken. Put some salt on that, 24 hours, and it just makes such a difference on almost everything.
I think people know that about chickens, sort of, but they don't think like, oh, I could take a strip steak and a day ahead of time season it,
100%.
and it just, the salt penetrates the meat. People are worried to think that it's going to like cure the meat or change the texture of it.
And it does in a little way, but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, and not in enough of a way that's like, you shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
It's
It's
not worth
only
it.
going to make it better.
Yeah.
Especially on a thicker roast, or
Yeah.
you're doing a pork shoulder, anything.
Yeah.
You just want that
A rib
salt
roast.
to penetrate, like you said, all the way down, and it's kind of like with that turkey that we did this year. Like it's the
Dry
real takeaway is just getting salt to the bone. Salt your stuff ahead.
You are here in terms of restaurant experience,
Okay.
right? I'm
No. You know.
down
Look,
here.
You
No,
probably
I've never worked in a
You
restaurant. I
probably
never went to
eaten
culinary
at more
school.
restaurants than I do.
Sure, but that's
Yes.
eating somewhere is much different than cooking somewhere. The thing about this type of fish is like we spent that whole time getting the skin super crispy.
It looks beautiful. I don't know who made it, but it's
Right?
really pretty. You girls did it?
At home, it's kind of like, okay, we got the fish, we put the sauce on, and then
Yeah.
you go to eat it, and you're like, wait a minute, I just
Sloppy.
threw sauce all over my crispy skin.
Right.
I want it to stay crispy.
Right.
So one of the tricks from Cook Like a Pro is whenever you do crispy skin fish, you plate your sauce first.
What's the sauce?
So this is just chimichurri.
Okay.
This is yogurt. Little swooshy swoosh situation.
Nice.
And then more of the sauce
Right, for color.
for color.
That chimichurri looks so good. I need to taste it.
Our fish
Delany, I love these.
right on top, right?
I will eat just this without the fish. It looks amazing. You getting that with the other camera?
So look, you get, with every bite, you still get the sauce, but it's on the
Awesome.
underside of the fish, and it's not disrupting that
And you
crispiness
decide.
that you spent so long
Love it.
developing.
Good job.
And that's a trick from a guy that never worked in a restaurant.
Awesome.
So my trick is basically to treat your freezer kind of like your pantry. I freeze everything from a sauce that I'm not using. I'll freeze that. I make big batches of dal. I'll freeze those. One of my favorite things to freeze is chilies. I buy chilies in bulk. I use a lot of chilies in my cooking, but I can't always use them. I just hate leaving produce to die in your fridge. And so I freeze them and they become real rock hard. So I learned that if you microplane it when it's frozen, it sort of creates this really amazing chili dust that you can put on top of your dals, you can put in salad dressings. I like putting it on top of toast. But it just feels somehow very chefy to me, just microplaning anything.
I've done this before, and one of the things I like about it also is that the seeds don't pass through. So if you don't want it as spicy,
It's real nice.
And I've done this for salsa verdes where I didn't want too
Ooh,
much
that's a
spice,
good-
and so the seeds stay up on top of the microplane, and that's the spiciest part of the chili.
Really does look really restaurant-y and fun.
Chili dust.
Chili dust.
The tip I wanted to do was service lemons. So like lemons where you just open it up and you cut the vein of seeds right out, because generally speaking, you know, the seeds in a lemon are right along that sort of central axis, right? So if you just do like one cut just to get the seeds out, your lemon is basically, you have to poke one out, no big deal. But now you have like a lemon, like most of the yield of your lemon, and you can squeeze seed free. You know, who's not winning?
I like this. I like that you can decide how to eat it. I hate when they tell you how to eat the plate. When they come to the table and like, and then you get a bite of this, and I was like, no, I want to eat it the way I want.
Totally.
With my fingers.
One rule: don't ever tell me or Gabby what to do, ever.